Hello, and welcome to another episode of Mindset Monday. Today, 15th, 2024, and I do hope you have a day. And I know for the most part, a lot of us Americans are a little stressed because today is the last day to file your taxes. April 15th, tonight, that for anyone who wants to file their taxes on time. But the good news is there is a make call that in school, a make of we have extensions, so they file not the time to pay. So if you owe, make sure you make some arrears or make some payment arrangement so the penalty the interest would not be too high for you. So for the 1040 filers and for the C corporations, today is the deadline. So hurry up, get them in so they can electronically file before the 12 midnight deadline. Yes, Pristine Beauty. 6 p.m. 6 p.m. Okay. Yes. So that's someone asking about a deadline. So you see, we what will happen when will happen. But whatever happens, we're just able and willing to deal with it when it comes. And my computer almost plugged out on me. Okay, so get those taxes in, file your taxes so you can go to bed and relax. And for the tax preparers and stressed, but I pause my preparation just to share a little of me with you with my weekly podcast in due season. So tax season is a part of the season of the year of in America. April, January to April is when tax is filed. Is when partnership corps is when the C corps and the 1040s are submitted, and there are other returns may I think for non-for-profit organizations and some others. But for the most part, 1040s, C Corps are filed April 15th, and today is the deadline. Now, here, and I will refer to our wisdom literature, the Bible, that reminds us to everything there is a season. Some seasons are man-made, like tax season. It's actually a man-made season based on our constitution in the United States, based on IRS laws and based on IRS rules. Other seasons are from our data, like seasons of the year. And there are many other things that we do in life which are seasonal, are man-made. But for whoever makes them, we have seasons of the year. In our life, there are seasons, and some seasons are short-lived, some seasons are for an extended period of time. But whatever it is, let's live through our season and enjoy the highs and the lows, and knowing that whatever season of life we're in, there are lessons to be learned. We have a special guest today. You have heard her before, and she will be speaking somewhat in a different capacity, just sharing with us how she navigates certain seasons in her life. The many seasons that she has gone through is too numerous for this one episode. So she will share just a little bit of one particular season of her life and the different segments of those seasons. As you know, we can understand the different seasons and the segments, we will them accordingly and live more comfortably in seasons. So if you might be true to yourself, you'll realize that even in a day, there are different seasons, even in one day. Let's look at we get up in the morning or routine. There are certain things that happen in the morning. There's we the sun rises in the east, and so we'll see the sunshine. Where I live, there are some plants in my window, and sometimes I pay attention to the different foliage on the plants, and whenever they're new leaves, whenever they're new shoots, I look at them, and depending on the season of the year, case in point, we have the Christmas cactus, and although the winter is gone, it's surprising that I still have some blooms on Christmas cactus. So, although that season is over, and that's the time when those plants, those bloom pretty flowers, whether it's white, pink, purple, uh, they are in all their glory. Have a live on on blooming. It's so beautiful. Our season and experiencing during the season is so phenomenal. So when we experience our seasons, we will realize that life is really worth living no matter what we go through. And speaking about sun, so many things can happen when you try to schedule stuff. Right now, my signal, I'm going to try to transfer my phone. Hopefully, it works. But until then, are how we live our life. To everything, there is a season. What is the season you are in right now? You could write it down. Are you in a season you are not sure? Or are you in a season that you're sure, but you are wanting to jump out of that season, but not so fast? Analyze what is happening, why are you in that season, and what you can learn through that season. And once you have a little time, you see, sometimes when we're because we are so busy, we do not learn the lessons of the different seasons. Um, we tend to gravitate towards comfort. And sometimes our seasons come and allow us to be discomforted because we need to learn new things. So, seasons come in our life to change things. Seasons come, and then guess what? The trajectory of our life is change. We move from stage. And if we are true to ourselves, we realize that even sometimes the tragedy of life that changes our season propels us into a new season and help us to become the better, best version of ourselves. Today, we have our special guest, Veronica Powell, and she will be sharing a particular season in her life. And I'm going to introduce her. She's going to, you know, tell a little bit about her, one or two questions, and we'll take it from there. And come on. Hi, Veronica. How are you? Come on, technology. Be help me out here.
Hi, and good evening. Miriam seems to be frozen. Sister Miriam is frozen.
Gone again. Anyway, you see how seasons are unpredictable. Even in this time, while I'm standing here, I logged on, technology was working, and then every so in the seasons of our life, when we can't some manage what's happening, or when we can put what's happening, we can just take a deep breath and, as in our dialect would say, wheel and come again. So let's see if it works this time. The season of life in due season. Let me see if I can get her now. I hope I can get her. I hope I can get her
It works.
in due season. Yay!
Yay! I'm here.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello,
I
hello, my sister
hear the
Miriam.
laughter. That means you're here.
Yes, I am.
Okay. I'm so delighted that you're here to share with us the lovely times that you experience in the different phases of your season. So just introduce or reintroduce yourself to our guests, our viewers. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I am Veronica Powell, a sister of Miriam. And I am here just to share some tidbits of my journey, my different seasons that I go through, and how I navigate my way out. And at the end of it, instead of feeling weak, I feel stronger going through my seasons and overcoming them. So, welcome to Mindset Monday, and I am here to share some
Awesome,
of my
awesome, awesome.
mindset
So
transformation with you all.
awesome. So as we're on Mindset Monday, experiencing the different seasons of life, our mindset will determine how we perceive, how we operate, and how we are able to navigate each season. Now, if I might ask you the first question, uh, what I know there are several seasons you have gone through, but you can just share with us, you can just let me know what aspect of your life you're going to share with the seasons.
Oh, aspects of my life. There are so many different seasons of my life that I can share, and it comes from childhood straight up. I My childhood was, what would I say, rough in Jamaican, or you know, grew up in an area we don't call a country area. Grew up without electricity, and what we say we use like wood fire to cook and whatever, and grew up, so no electricity, so no refrigerator, so we did the old fashioned way of preserving meat and stuff. So I grew up like in that time. I had to walk to school, didn't have the luxury of like school bus like children now, and we have to walk miles to school, and sometimes barefooted too, you know and then but for me, the nice part of it, I grew up with a lot of plantations around, so I had the luxury of all the different type of fruit trees to pick, choose, and refuse when the seasons come along, like mango, oranges, pineapple, cane, jackfruit, apple, star apples, all of the fruits that you can think about. I grew up eating them. They were my staples. Sometimes we eat like fruits and we don't worry about the cooked food because we are already full even by dinner time. And I grew up mostly eating vegetables. So my life was simple, like meat, mostly on Sundays. You get rice and peas and chicken or beef. Friday was like fresh beef soup from the butcher shop. So we always have fresh beef soup on a Friday afternoon, Friday evening for dinner, and then Sunday rice and peas and chicken. And during the week, mostly like vegetables, callaloo, ackee, and those stuff. Not a lot of meat I grew up on, but I was well fed, had good water supplies and everything. So for me, I use the good things to overshadow what we would say bad. And to me, my life was okay because that's what you knew. So you just work with it and make the best of it. So as I transition on later in life and growing up, moving to another area, and then life was somewhat different from what I grew up with, I learned to adapt. And even when things got rough, my childhood was such a foundation that it gave me this strong backbone that whatever season come, I can manage and go through and look on the positive from, even when it looks negative, I take the positive from that. So that's the basis of
Awesome.
my base of season of how to navigate what came on in my adult life. So,
Awesome.
Miriam, okay.
So you you share a little bit of growing up, and now just give us a little summary of high school and adulthood, the seasons of high school and adulthood. with seasons. As what she was expressing, the different seasons comes with things that she wasn't aware of will happen, or she worked he lemon. If lemon is thrown at you, just in there, and we call it sugar water or lemonade. We make lemon, put a little sugar.
You're on video. Okay. I'm sorry. It's still seeing you. Open the phone. No, no, something. Open your phone. No. Mm-hmm. Give me ready for you. For WhatsApp. Well, for Miriam. Mm-hmm. You say whereas liquor sale.
Yeah, I can hear you now, Veronica.
Okay. So we are
I
hearing you delayed,
can
so that's why I stopped.
hear you. Okay. So what the come on, technology. Help me out, okay, Veronica, go ahead.
It now connect. It's a gear problem. Where link what you send you? Like this?
I can hear you, Serenia.
Okay. Go ahead. What's the next question?
I can hear.
Hello? What's the next
In
question?
navigate your season, what has helped you to move forward to the next phase of your life?
It's just that I use every challenge I overcome as a stepping stone for the next one. And so for instance, when I was in high school, I spent 3 years in high school because I went to high school in grade 9. So just did 9, 10, and 11. I wanted as a career to be either a nurse or a telephone operator. However, I did not get the subjects to go in those areas. So after that, I kind of felt depressed. But I continued later on in life, even though at the stage where I became a wife, a mother, a wife, and it was then after having children I started to work. And when I started to work, I worked first helping out as with a baby, and then left that job after a few years to look about my second child. And after having my third child, I went back to the same location, only in a different position this time, to work in a factory to help do souvenir clocks and stuff. And there came a time when I had to answer the phone. So I didn't look at it then that I actually achieved one of my ambitions that I wanted to be without even going for the subjects. So, and then after that, it's like every family member or so were sick, and I was always there to be by them to encourage, like this nurse aide around them. And it was lately that I was talking to my sister, and I said to her, you know what happened? Just as them say, when I look back over my life, or you roll back the curtains of memory now
Yeah.
and then, I think back and I said, you know what happened? Looking back, I can smile and say, I did achieve those two professions because I did answer phone at my work for some time. And I remember the commendation, like people would say, who is that answering the phone? That person answers so politely at one ever. It made me feel good. I say, yes, I did achieve. And being there, I remember my dad when he was sick and when he was in so much pain and I was with him. And I remember he leaned on my shoulder one day and he said, oh, my nurse. I came to live with my dad when I was 17 plus. I didn't grow up with him, and it was a rough way that he had to take me to live with him. And I remember he looked at me and he said, a lucky thing somebody come for you, eh? You can't turn me nurse. And you know that brings some sense of satisfaction. And I said, well, I'm not a non-achiever. I did achieve something. Even just being there at the last stage of my father's life to be that give him that compassionate care. And I say yes, I did achieve both my careers, telephone operator and also a nurse. So I tend to look back now on all of the challenges and I said whatever comes my way, I can say yes, I have achieved. So that motivates me to go on and to, I never used to like think of things and then go for it. But when I look back on those two, then I start to charter out now and to say, I don't say I can't anymore. I say I can do this or I can do that. And then I go. And when I try and I get through, then I feel good. So that's some of it. Camille, hello.
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Okay. You want me to continue?
Yes, there's one more question, or just to culminate this session, and I'll bring you back next week to continue. The last section, I know there's a poem that you would like to read as we conclude this segment. Read that little poem, and why did you pen that poem?
Okay. Okay. Um, well, part of the journey was taking care of my mom while she was sick. And my mom was so sick. I love my mom. As I said before, I came to live with my parents at 17 plus, and my mom was such a sweetheart. She would want to do so much for me at that age because she didn't get the chance to when I was younger because I grew up with her sister. So she wanted to dote on me and whatever, even though I was an adult. So at that time while she was ill and she was in pain, I took the initiative of like journeying with her to the doctor, making sure that she's okay. And I remember the few days before she passed, she was so sick. She was just throwing up, throwing up, throwing up, even while we were taking her to the doctor to get some art tests. And I remember I said, God, please, my mommy shouldn't be feeling so much pain. She don't deserve it. I said, God, if you're gonna make she go through this, I'd rather you take her home. And that's what I said before we left for the doctor. We went to the doctor, did the test the Wednesday. She was there the Thursday. And like the Friday, she was supposed to go to the other doctor to show them the results. And during that time preparing her, her heart started to go out of control and she struggled to breathe and I couldn't get her to settle down. And I remember I went on the bed and I sat and I placed her in my lap. She was lying, and I placed her upper body in my lap, and I held her right there till the last breath left. And I held her for a while before I laid her down and then for the I called for the ambulance first, and then I called for the police and then the funeral home people to come for her body. And I remember going through it one day. I sat there and I was like, I remember I didn't cry when my mom died. I didn't cry at the funeral. And it's like this poem came to me afterward. And I was like, I cried out to God, and God didn't save. Because you said that, but it's like you want the person to come back and be around. But then when she passed, I wrote this poem. And at first, I look on death as a friend. So I titled it My Friend Death, because I look at it. She was delivered through death, delivered from the pain and the anguish that she was feeling. But I gave it to one of my niece to read it, and she said, "Oh, Auntie, this is deep." And I was like, "Okay, I need to change the title, because people may say, why she's calling dead friend?" So I changed the title, and then the title that I changed it to, I put The Answer, Death. And why I look at it that way, at times we have our loved ones and they are in so much pain, and we pray for healing. But when they pass, it's as if we become angry with God and say, God, why you never heal them or whatever. But I look on it and to say, that is final. She's in no more pain. So she is still healed. So I pen these few words. Sicknesses, they come and go, just like a river ebbs and flow. When this happened to my dear mother, I cried out to my heavenly Father. The medicines, they just weren't helping, but I still kept on praying. When my mom died, my heart was heavy, but my eyes were dry. Then I think back and said, God, why? But after a while, I sighed and said, yes, God, you did replied. So that's why I penned it and said the answer death. He did answer my prayer by taking my mom out of her pain. So sometimes when you see death, don't look at death as an enemy. Look on death as that end, that somber end that only God can bring to a situation like that, where you can say your loved one is no longer hurting, but God has given them rest. So that's
Powerful.
how, yeah.
That is powerful. Well, Veronica, Elise, my sister, I thank you so much for sharing. And you will hear Veronica again, and technology will be responding favorable next time. Or if technology is telling me that I need to get a new computer, or the internet provider need to do something and give me what I paid for, because I paid for bandwidth and they're not giving it to me. So whatever it is, I need to get it checked out, because viewers, I know that you want to hear what has to say. And the last time we had Suzette, you weren't able to hear her properly. So I need to find out what's going on so you can hear the lovely stories that they have to share. So until next time, when you hear the next of Veronica's experience, the next phase of how she navigates through her different seasons, and the mindset that she had while going through those seasons, I thank you for viewing. I know it was a little hard to hear, and you really wanted to understand what we were sharing. Like for sharing a little bit of what you your experiences are and being vulnerable with us, with our viewers. As you walk through your season, as you continue to file your taxes until 12 midnight tonight, and make sure that they are accepted. For those who can't file their taxes, make sure you file the extension that you're not penalized greatly if you didn't. Thank you again for watching. Until next week, this is another episode of Mindset Monday. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can hear the next thing of what's happening. Thank you so much for viewing. Have a wonderful Monday.